Hi, everybody. I'm Barbara Robertson, and I'm joined here today with Nancy Moorbacher.
Hi, Barbara. Great to see you.
Great to see you. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Today's Nancy's birthday, but she's still doing this video for us. So today, Nancy, we're going to be talking about the new self-study 95-hour course that we have developed, the CCLS self-study. And so before we talk about that, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been helping nursing families for now 40 years. I'm celebrating my 40th anniversary this month. I started as a peer supporter. I worked in private practice for 10 years. For 8 years, I worked for a breast pump company doing professional trainings. I worked for a corporate lactation program. And then when I went off on my own, I was working in hospitals, helping them to increase exclusive breastfeeding rate and discharge.
Your background is you've really touched all areas and possible professions where we use the IBCLC credential, this training.
Mhm.
My background is I started in Lactation League, that peer-to-peer counseling. That's something we have in common. And then I've been a private practice IBCLC since 2004. And really, I started in education, and now I just love teaching professionals about lactation.
Yeah.
So exciting. Well, we met each other because I approached you to do a book group with your book. I see it peeking behind you, Breastfeeding Answers, second edition.
There it is, yeah.
And we got along so well for that we started thinking about another project. So talk a little bit about why this. Why have we developed this self-study course?
Well, one of our book group participants made the suggestion that we should develop a course to prepare for sitting for the exam that really followed exactly the detailed content outline that the IBLCE has available, because those are the topics that people need to study. And none of the other courses actually did that. And so if you happen to be weak in an area, it was really difficult to find, the exact education that you're looking for. So we thought, wow, that's a really good idea. So that's what we did.
Well, and they had just released the new content outline for 2023, and we were like, oh, so we tailored our course around that outline. We're going to take a look at that in a minute. And we have both you and I have experience in developing a 95-hour course, you in China, me, my CCLS group training. And so it just really seemed like a beautiful fit of your intensive knowledge base of lactation and then my background in education. Well, so let's take a look quickly at some of the things that we do think are special about our course. So I'm going to share my screen. And so this is that detailed content outline that IBLCE wants you to have touched on each of these subjects. And it goes on and on and on. How many are there, Nancy?
There's 175 different points that we cover in our course that correspond exactly to those in this detailed content outline.
Exactly. And we do not market this as a test prep course, but we do believe that it's going to help you be ready for the exam. So it's organized, and we'll take a look at that in a minute as well. And we just think that it's important that because honestly, most of the 95-hour course is self-study. You watch a PowerPoint on this subject, a PowerPoint on that subject, and maybe you get some of this, but maybe you don't, because I don't think they're not following it in the same way.
As I travel around and speak at lactation conferences, I am hearing about how tired people are of watching PowerPoints.
Yeah, we are too. We are too. So this we felt like was really important. The other piece to this is because Nancy is part of this, you have access to, it comes with a course, a PDF of Breastfeeding Answers second edition. If you need a hardcover, I'm a hardcover girl, you can get it for a discount, right, Nancy?
Yeah, 40% off for our students.
Exactly.
So that's an option as well. But one of the reasons I thought the book was well suited for this course is I was really amazed at how many of the 175 items are covered in the book. But more than that, I think it's the book that those who are studying will be using when they're in practice.
Yep.
And so and the other aspect of it is it includes not just the information, but also the counseling skills on how to work with families in these unusual and common situations. And so it does combine sort of the head and heart aspects of what we do, which you and I both learned as LactaLearning leaders.
Exactly. If you do not have good communication skills, if you do not have empathy for that client, they are very unlikely to listen to you and perhaps take your suggestions.
And yet at the same time, its information is based on a review of more than 4,000 studies. It's extremely evidence-based, and everything is, all the references are there. If you work at an institution and need to provide references, they are in this book as well.
It's my favorite reference book. And so it's very usable, very practical, and accurate and up to date. So thank you, Nancy. That's something very unique that we offer.
Yes. Yeah. Many other courses, you have to pay an arm and a leg for various textbooks, and ours is included.
Exactly. All right. And so the next piece is using our online learning system, Thinkific. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. This is what the course would look like for you. And we do have some PowerPoints. We're not going to lie, but they're short.
Yeah. Very
and
short.
Very pointed. It's clear exactly what information.
And I would say PowerPoints are definitely in the minority in terms of the material that we employ in this course.
So here's the detailed content outline. And when we look at a particular, sorry about that, it jumped down. When we look at this is section A1A, infant development and nutrition. We have our introduction, we have reflection questions at the beginning of each section, so you know what you want to kind of focus on. We really want you to be able to utilize this information. We want you to pass the exam. We're not promising that you will, but we want you to pass the exam. But really, we want you to be a good practitioner. And so we've included the things that we think are important. And the reflection questions help guide that. Yes,
through our course, you'll become familiar with the resources you will be using in practice, which I think is a huge plus.
Exactly. The Academy of Breastfeeding Medicine protocols, videos that we can share with families, so how to do some assessment stuff. This is all things that we think are very practical, and it's a variety of materials, right, Nancy?
You'll thank us later when you're in practice. But yes, we incorporate podcasts. We have many short videos. We look at, we include web articles, blog posts, animation. There's all different kinds of learning materials. So it's a very dynamic learning environment.
Exactly. And you see that this section, we expect you to spend about 10 hours on this. You could spend more, but that's up to you. So you're going to kind of pick and choose some of the things that look more interesting to you. Of course, we're going to take a look at each one, but you might dive really deeply into some that you find very interesting or applicable to your practice. And others, for instance, I don't work in a NICU. So the little preterm baby stuff isn't quite as applicable to me. Transitioning to the breast is.
Right. So you see those preemies once they come home, and you're helping the families make that transition.
Exactly. So we're very excited to offer this. Another thing that we offer that is different and unique is that we offer monthly check-ins, which give you access to Nancy and I. We'll be answering questions, we're having discussions. We're going through the outline ourselves. And we're going to be talking about some of those points, going through again, and what are some of the highlights, especially for the clinical practice. Yeah, so a lot of stuff that's going on. My master's is in curriculum development, and adult learning is really important to have a variety of materials, different ways to approach the materials, so that you stay engaged and hopefully better retention.
And have that opportunity to interact through our check-ins. So it's not just all one-way learning. There is an opportunity for interaction. And I think your master's in curriculum development and your focus on adult learning is another aspect that makes this course unique compared to what you see in other places.
Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, we do know from research that passively watching PowerPoints is not the best way to learn, even though it sounds like a great idea, but learning wise, not such a great idea.
Yeah, and what that means on a practical level is you don't retain the information as well. And that's going to impact, when you sit the exam, and also later when you try to remember what you've learned and when you're trying to use the information.
Well, and so one of the last thing that we want to talk about is that, Nancy and I have developed this course. We are there for you for check-ins, for question answers. I do your registration, so it really is names you know and names you trust. Nancy, especially you have been providing such quality materials and education for all these years. People know that the information's reliable and accurate. And I think that that's so important.
Thank you, Barbara. I have put a lot of myself into this field, and I'm very, very excited about this course because I think it does provide so many things that the student needs to really be successful in both practice and preparing for a professional career.
Exactly. Well, thanks for watching this video. And hopefully, if you have any questions or anything, please let us know. We have Nancy at LactaLearning.com or Barbara at LactaLearning.com. So shoot us an email and we'd be happy to talk to you about what we're doing. Thanks so much for listening. Bye-bye.